Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Is the audio
to
fine?
Beautiful Smite update show.
I feel like it
I am
sounds
Titan
pretty
Dandy,
good,
for
but
those of you who
if
don't
I need to
know
go
me.
up or down, let me know.
I'm super happy to be here and super excited to be on the show. I know those of you who tuned in earlier saw that the art show is going on a hiatus for a while. It is a bummer, but as Anna said, it's always going to come back. There's a lot of cool stuff we're working on, and we just want to wish her the best in her travels and, you know, getting adjusted to new life. It can be a scary thing. So, you know, we hate to see that, but we want to keep seeing y'all's art. We love seeing that in the community and all over the place. So,
yeah, I can turn
up
up a bit.
More of that
Yep.
as we move down the
Sure
road.
can.
But anyway, we got a lot in store today. So this is the
How about that?
10.8 update for those of you who didn't feel like reading the title. And there's a lot of stuff. We have Avatar: The Last Airbender content, which we've been so hyped to show y'all, alongside the new arena and some balance changes, some other stuff. Super exciting, and we're going to dive right into it. Starting by me introducing my two beautiful guests today, Aggro and Lermy. How are y'all?
What up?
What's up?
Super
Tired.
I know, right? You haven't been here in a while, Dad.
I have not. Yeah, I would just working my way back in from paternity leave. So if I fall asleep mid-episode, it is not, or mid-show, it's not because it's not exciting or anything like that. It's because it's physically impossible for me to stay awake for too many hours in a row.
You know what? I can only understand the easiest bit of that. Like, I stay awake for non-important things. I can't imagine being awake 24/7 for something so important.
It's not my choice. It's his choice.
I gotta move myself slightly.
Yeah. So, super cool. Well, let's start off with some news, shall we? We have a whole bunch of news that we can talk about, starting with, this is a Wednesday show. Hello. Good to see you again. It's been a while since we've had a show on a Wednesday, and for the time being, this is how it's going to be. We tried out Thursday. It worked. We had reasons that we talked about forever ago. We wanted to make sure that our different teams had what they needed. And as we've talked and the show has continued forward, we thought, well, we want to give a little more time back to PTS to make sure that it is as impactful. It's a lot of eyes in one sentence.
Out of the way, the text.
As it should be. So we're
This is what we
this
said
extra
earlier today.
PTS will be going live, which I'll
Patch
say
notes are back on Wednesdays
later
instead of
today,
Thursdays.
theoretically.
Back on the
So,
regular time.
We just wanted to make sure we had that extra time to really hear what the community had to say. So welcome back to Wednesday shows moving forward. Another bit of news is that 10.8, the update we're about to dive into, is a 3-week update. For those of you unfamiliar, that's a really short update. So if, we have a lot of cool stuff we're showing you today, and it's pretty quickly going to be followed up by
new
even
season
more
is
cool
coming
stuff.
out soon.
So, hope that you enjoy everything you're about to see, and know that we're just going to keep cranking it out at a scary fast rate. To continue down the line, I don't know if any of y'all have missed this, but we are giving away 10 million gems. Like 10,008,000 or some crazy number like that, but it's a lot. We're giving away over 10 million gems between July 28th, which was my birthday, and August 18th.
I think we all know that you're giving away
gems. The way this works, there's
I'm
no,
glad
you don't have to
that
sign
XX
up for
booty
anything.
clapper
You don't have to, as long
XX
as
won
you have
his
Smite
gems,
and you play
you know?
Smite, you are eligible. Every
Congrats
half
to
hour,
him.
we are giving somebody random 10,000 gems. And it's anybody who has played within the last hour. So if you play, if you time your hour right, you can hit, that one game will cover 2 half-hour periods. So it's when you finish a game for the next hour, you are eligible for a draw. And that's it. Just play games of Smite 24/7. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is.
Fred.
If you work all day, you have a job like a lot of people do, don't worry about it. Get
Almost
home,
got it that
hit those
time.
night queues, hit those evening queues. If you're all about the demon hours, it's 5 a.m., you're like, I bet nobody's playing Smite at 5 a.m. My odds are better. Big brain thinking right there. Get in there, earn your gems. So this is going to continue going until August 18th. You have 2 weeks minimum, 2 weeks and 2 days or something. I'm not good at math, but either way, you have a lot of time left. So hop in there and just try to earn some
Your
free
odds
gems.
of winning
we were
are
thinking,
not
what can
good.
we do big for Smite Year 10, and this felt like it. So 10 million, 10
Just
years,
so you
here's to
know.
more. And one
You could
last
win,
piece of
but,
community news, we had a lot this time, is
your odds are
the Race to
1 in
Diamond.
10,000
So that went
at
out,
best.
and some of y'all went crazy. Some of y'all took care on and really went down the river with it, and we have been so hyped to see the excitement, hyped to see y'all rushing for it. We already announced the winners of the speedrunner title, so those 10 are locked in stone and will be receiving their rewards with this update next Tuesday. But you're still eligible to earn the Diamond Charon avatar. That just had to be done before the end of the update, so not a lot of time left. Make sure you're really grinding those queues and trying to get those worshipers so that you can still earn that title again next Tuesday with the launch of the update. So whew. All right, well, that was a lot of talking. Thank y'all for bearing with me through that. And we have a little more we're going to talk about. Look, moving to esports now. Esports actually has a bunch of cool stuff coming up, starting with the Summer Solstice event, which is next weekend, not this coming weekend, the weekend after the update. This event will kick off. They'll have the Order versus Chaos divisionals and all of that moving forward, which is really exciting. And then the weekend after that, so you know, patch weekend, next weekend, it's getting complicated. They have a website. You can look at all the dates there. But they're going to have stuff like the Salt Summer Tournament and even more following up. So they got Roll Stars on the way. Lots of stuff coming down the line. Make sure to check out the Smite Esports website
17th,
for all of these
Roll
dates
Stars.
so that, you know, it's a better explanation than what I just
So
tried to give you.
no SPL
and
until
check out all this cool weekend event. We're spooling up a lot of awesome esports content.
Is that kind of the vibe?
I'm excited to see it because I love this stuff. And I hope y'all have been keeping up with all of this
competitive
all this roster drama going
8th
on
of
on Twitter. It's
September.
been fun. So last but not least in this section, some quality of life changes. I love bringing you the stuff that's just nice. One of them, we have two, is that they have updated the jungle practice Q art, or will in this coming update. So for those of you who are getting in jungle practice and trying out your favorite god and learning the mechanics and like how to do that ult combo, some new Q art for when you're hopping in there. And last but not least, our boy Martikaros, avatars in the game coming up. So just get ready for a super cool new god avatar. I've been playing a lot of Martikaros in duo lane, throwing down those mad Qs, poisoning
You've been
people.
playing
It's
a
been
lot of
joy.
casual
So,
Qs, Dandy.
yeah, it feels
Nobody
cool,
gets
you
to
know, with
play
the
him in
creator of
ranked. He's
Martikaros
perma-banned,
right
and
next
you
to
know
me.
it.
I love it.
You
So awesome. Let's continue down the road here and
handsome
get
casual
into
player, you.
some skins. How about it?
Oh, yeah.
So these skins are from 2 chests, starting with the Fun Guy chest. We have Fungal Fury Danzaburo.
This skin is so funny.
It is
Holy
love
cow,
this
man.
so much.
It is
It's so cute.
Yet.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen I don't remember any of these things.
I dig it.
My brain has just been so unplugged, and this
I dig
is incredible. I love this skin.
Okay, a very important thing I have to interrupt you with here. There's a little buddy on his shoulder you'll see here in this art. He makes a very important appearance in the skin, as you will see very soon.
excellent. Yeah, well, I do think I think we have the skin turnaround for this too.
Oh, good.
So
Look at him. Look at
Oh
him.
my
go.
God,
Look at him.
he's on his gun.
is he like jiggling too?
Oh, yeah.
He's a
He
lot
be jiggling.
He's
scarier
got a lot
in
of
game.
buddies.
He was a
Oh
lot
my
cuter in the card art. He's a lot more like
Are we
cursed in
allowed to
game.
do that?
Yeah, dude, he's just a little guy.
Oh, okay.
Just a little mushroom guy.
And you can see him hanging out in the little basket in the back, and he's got the mushrooms ready to go.
He
you
is
know, in case
humping that
everything's
gun.
done.
Look at that mushroom.
Have a little
He is
snack.
literally humping that gun.
Seems kind of weird, a mushroom eating mushrooms, but hey, you know what? You heard it here first. So this will be one of the 2 skins coming in the Fun Guy chest. The next chest is
And
called
he has
the
butt
Nightmare
cheeks.
Fuel chest.
He has literal butt
and,
cheeks.
that's gonna have splitting Nightmare Agni.
I adore this art
Yo.
so much.
That is
That's
so
I
sick.
was about to say it's Nightmare Fuel, so adore might not be the word I would use, but I loathe it in an affectionate way.
That is incredible. Rip this bottom guy, by the way. See, you got these two. I don't like their odds, to be
I see
honest.
the
see
little guy
him.
in the middle. The
Yeah,
red one.
yeah, that one, he's toast.
Yeah.
Like, just leave him. Do your best.
It's one of
but
those Twitter posts. What would you do in this situation?
yeah, run.
I would simply get away.
Yeah, I would
different.
simply not let that happen to me in the first place.
Oh my
Here's the
gosh.
turnaround for him. I love that like torn down the middle look too.
Well, there's
So-
an eyeball in
there
there.
is an eyeball in there.
He's got to see, guys. I mean, where else would
That's
he
true.
see from?
You know, I've never thought about what that would look like looking through a chest.
I wanna see what that
Yeah.
skin looks like
I'm not
on
that
my
eager to find
own
out either, to be
game
honest.
Yeah,
first.
that's fair. I don't need to look through a chest cavity. So again,
I wanna see
this
what
is
it looks like
Splitting
on my
Nightmare
own
Agni
computer.
coming at you in the Nightmare Fuel
I don't
chest.
think
We have
'cause,
those
like,
2 chests.
I don't think
that
they
we're
have the
excited to show off.
resolution
But
as
now we're
high
gonna dive
when
into
they
some
show off the
balance. All right.
skins,
So this first bit I feel like has been talked about a lot in the past couple weeks, and it's soul surges. And I'll just let y'all take away with what we're doing to soul surges.
Yeah, so we've heard your feedback, very much so.
Hey!
And we are so glad that
Yeah,
we got
that's
a chance
a
to try them, and we thought that
W!
They were a really interesting addition. But we are going to be removing them from this
They
next
removed
update
them before
because
the
we
season of
just
Souls
feel like,
ended.
you know,
Hell
there
yeah!
are some things that we could improve on them. But we're going to put it kind
Nice.
of back in the tank for now, see if we can cook it up later. If
Nice,
people do
that's a
miss it
huge
eventually,
W.
but we want to just, make sure that everyone's still having a good experience. And we feel like this feature just, may have missed the mark a little bit.
Gotcha. I mean, good to hear, and that's how all things go. We listen to y'all's feedback, and if you don't like it, we're happy to pull it down. Who's to say it won't come back in the future? We love tweaking things and trying to make them better and kicking them back out. But
I cannot
we heard what
believe they
y'all had
did
to
that
say,
before the
and,
start of the new season.
We like making the game as fun as possible. So thank you for your
Wow.
feedback, and bye Soul Surges, bye Ghost stopping my back. Weep.
Yeah.
All
By
right,
Ghost
so
stopping
next
my
up,
back.
Conquest. We got some Conquest talking to do. Starting with a little bit of a change to the Stygian Beacon.
Yeah, Stygian Beacon has been really exciting, we think.
I love it.
Loved seeing how players are interacting with having to group up for this
So
objective
12, 17,
frequently, but not
22?
too frequently throughout
Basically.
the match. And we think that we're really happy with the types of fights, the dynamic aspect that it brings to the map. We just want to see it happen a little bit more frequently.
Okay.
So the cooldown is going from 6 minutes to 5 minutes
That's
on
fine.
these Stygian beacons. And that will also mean that the Unleashed Titans will happen a little bit earlier in the match if you're standing on the point. As soon as it comes up, you're catching those off cooldown. That means the Titan fight will end up happening a little bit earlier in the match, which we also think will help smooth out the flow of a typical Conquest.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, hopefully it'll help, give the Titan fight a little bit more of its own unique time to shine versus having it compete with things like Fire Giant, like with EFG kind of being right around the corner. It's like a little bit less to balance in that regard. It has its own place now in terms of when it's spawning. About that 24, 25-minute mark is like the later end of where you see it nowadays.
Got it. Well, and I'm super excited for that because honestly, that's been one of my favorite changes that has come out of this. Because like I love having that point to fight over. I love like this kind of mandatory team fight that shows up. It's been a blast. So excited to see it sticking around and happening a little sooner too. I think that'll shake it up. So next up, it looks like as the Titans get unleashed, their stats are changing a little bit.
Yes, this is more so of a shift. Because we're moving it up earlier, we have to change exactly what kind of stats it has. Because again, if you're moving it forward, 3-ish, it has to be a little bit, different interaction with it. So they are going to be increasing the base health and the physical stuff, but it's also going to be, base magical procs, physical power, XP, gold, all that stuff to more appropriate amounts for that time, making it a little bit worthwhile to actually have everyone group up and fight around it and make sure that it's strong enough to really fight.
The Titan
through,
boy is like thick.
Crowds of
He's like thick now.
at that point. Because,
you really gotta like fight around it. It's
the Titan
like
also feels different.
Got it. Well, that sounds good.
They really want you to get over
EFG,
there.
like you said, Enhanced Fire Giant, getting some changes too.
Yeah, so EFG has felt really tanky. That's some feedback that we've heard from players, and we dove into it, and it turned out that it was getting twice as many stats as it should have on its transformation from it was truly enhanced.
That makes sense.
And it was like enhanced in all caps, and we want it to just be like uppercase E and then normal,
that makes sense
the rest of the way. So normalizing those stats, it's only worrying about the enhancement stats though. So FG completely unchanged, exactly how it has been.
That is
now,
funny.
Post 30 minutes, it should be a little bit easier to take down EFG or generate a fight that isn't quite as threatening around the
That is
fight.
really funny.
So Enhanced Fire Giant, remove the bolding and underline.
He was just an extra thick boy.
Cool. So next up, Joust. There are actually a couple item changes, or quite a few.
He was
little
literally
item
a
changes
trap.
coming to Joust, huh?
This is a bit of a complicated change because if you remember a few patches back, we removed all starter items from Joust and did a couple other adjustments to, adding purple camp, adding additional effects to the blue and the red, and the towers, having, the ability to reduce protections. That all was great. The only thing that wasn't great is the item curve and how players were feeling about going out of base without a starter item, because starter items have been in the game for years at this point.
Long time.
And it's the only mode that doesn't really have them aside from duel, which is a little bit different. That can kind of be in its own.
They're trying to
area,
remove the problematic
But Joust is a core mode to us, so we want to make sure that we are keeping an eye on it. And so what we're actually doing here is we are re-adding starter items back,
but also letting you build a
support
starter
items. Because if you recall, one of the biggest problems that we were trying to address was a double tank meta that really involved diving under towers and just kind of overwhelming, the one backliner that you had with your pure tank brutality. So. We found that the reason that was happening is because support starter items were generating a lot of gold, they had a lot of helpful effects, and because of how Joust's XP curve works, you were getting to level 15 and able to upgrade those starter items a little bit faster than everyone else. So you were getting a lot of power potential out of those guys. Even though, they're support starter items, right? People don't tend to think that those are like the really strong ones, but they definitely are strong. The other change here that we're doing is we're banning Emperor's Armor from Joust specifically. And this is another item that caused additional problems with that diving potential like we were talking about. It was kind of a race to whoever got Emps first, because if one team has Emperor's Armor, the other team is Emperor's Armor,
if I was playing Joust, it'd be fine.
Getting dove for free, essentially. So we just don't want that to be kind of the pinnacle of what people are fighting about anymore. We want it to be more organically about finding an advantage throughout the farm by getting buff camps and all of that other essential core Joust stuff other than, one or two or, all the starter items or whatever.
Buy item, win game.
Kind of changing the mode in a way that we didn't like. So starter items, back. No support starter items. Emperors, banned. Done.
Cool beans. All right, so to continue going down, we're into items now. Now, there is one game mode we didn't talk about, but we'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
They'll probably end
but
it with
we
the
got to
arena
get through some other
changes.
balance first. It's also important. So starting with items and starter items, there's a handful of those that got changed. Blono's masks and some prots and Spartan flag, it looks like.
Yeah, so Lono's Mask is one of those items that requires you to hit a certain stat threshold in order to get the full benefit of its passive.
Yeah.
And whenever we adjusted a lot of the Tier 3 item stats a few patches ago, these were some items that we knew that we might want to take a look at, but didn't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, put it in a position where it's, you know, moving this knob and this knob at the same time, and it just ends up being a little bit harder
it on
to
the
really
normal
gauge
supports anyway.
the strength of an item when you're
for the
adjusting
Aphrodite knock
both
supports
ends
of
of the
world.
spectrum.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's
So
very annoying.
after the
but
dust has settled a little bit on that change, we've definitely seen that Lono's Mask is underperforming a little bit.
Okay.
Especially considering that it does come with a built-in downside if you aren't hitting these thresholds.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't like an item like Prophetic Cloak where you're getting good benefits, and then if you hit your thresholds, you're getting even more benefit.
Yeah.
You're getting a negative until you hit these thresholds. So Lono's Mask just going from requiring 50 protections from items per stack down to 45, which is taking its overall prots required from items in order to get all 5 stacks properly, going from 250 to 225. So not a massive change or anything like that, but should be a little bit easier to hit that very, very important threshold for
That's
Lonos.
fine.
Got it.
That's all good.
And yeah, Spartan flag also looking like it's getting just some GP5 increase a little bit and some attack speed.
Yeah, so this is one item that you might say has been kind of also left in the dust, unfortunately. We finally are at a place where War Flag is purchasable in Conquest. We're so happy about that. We're going
There
to
are more
try
War
it.
Flags being bought, actually. But Spartan Flag does
was
suck.
the one that was not really the inline one. It's the one where it spawns a deployable flag, and you gather around it and you battle. But the one thing that we noticed about it that was kind of inconsistent was that it was not providing the right amount of GP5, so we wanted to increase that to keep it in line with everyone else. It shouldn't have worse GP5 than its other starter item that was more popular.
Yeah.
And like that. So we wanted to adjust that, and then additionally we wanted to make it a little bit more enticing and kind of keep that War Flag idea present in Spartan Flag by bringing back that attack speed kind of element from the original starter item.
Yeah, you got to rally around the banner, get that attack speed, and push forward. Yeah.
Still don't know if
All right, so
ever
next
buy
up,
it
some
over
basic
the other
attack
grade
tank
back.
items, and I love my tank items. Berserker Shield getting a buff, Shogun's Kusari also getting a buff. So let's dive into the shield.
Attack speed warriors,
so auto attack warriors, you know, we've heard a lot of the feedback about how
They're
good or
unplayable
not
right
good
now.
they are feeling. We know that this isn't going to massively move the needle, but while we're trying to figure out exactly the ways
Decrease
that we want
cost
to
from
bump them
2,400
back
to
up,
2,300
this is
G.
just a little something to hopefully tide over those players until we can make some
found that funny
hopefully
for some
larger
reason.
changes. So Berserker Shield just getting a little bit of a cost decrease from 2,400 to 2,300, and increasing the health threshold from when you get that Berserk passive from 50% to 60%. And in particular, that passive change might not seem like a huge deal, but we've seen buffs just like that for like Sun Wukong
That's
passive.
a decent buff.
End up
That's
being
a
really, really
respectable
impactful.
Berserker
Getting
Shield
access
buff.
to
Respectable.
a pretty big passive buff more frequently and at a less of a risky health threshold, usually ends up making a pretty big difference. So hopefully this Berserker's change will help out those Berserker Shield users.
Got it. Bring those stats up. And then Shogun's Kusari looks like a bump to health in the magical prods.
Yeah, this is kind of along those same lines. Give them a little bit of help.
50
We want to
health,
just make
5
sure that
magical.
Shogun
That's
feels really good
probably
to pick up. And this is also
less
kind of in the line of support
important
items as
than
well.
the
You
Berserkers
might see
one, but-
it picked up on, you know, your Fafnirs, or if you have a 2 ADCs or a magical ADC and a regular one. You know, this is an item that's really good for those, or even like your Kali's, Arachnes, Bakasuras of the world. So this is just another very helpful item. We're taking the health up a little bit. And we're also increasing the magical protections because when we
Steps
went
in the
and
right direction,
shifted
though.
everybody down,
Steps in the right
this guy
direction.
went down pretty far in comparison to everybody else. So we want to make sure that it's kind of still in line with other really applicable tank items by giving it a little bit more help there.
Got it. Hey, again, I'm all about tank item buff, so because I be running tank basically all the time. So next up, some underutilized healing items getting a bit of love. Looks like Rejuvenating Heart and Sekhmet Scepter both getting a buff.
Yeah, Rejuvenating Heart, I think, is one that we've seen these types of buffs be very successful in the past, where we get to increase the per stack healing dealt and just decrease the max stacks. So you just hit that threshold so much easier, a lot less hoops to jump through.
Could be interesting.
8 is a lot in order to get for basically any of these types of stacking items. So bringing it down more in line with a lot of other similar items down to 5. I think we'll see
Could be
Rejuvenating
worth
Heart
testing
players seeing
out.
a lot more success.
Cool. And then for Sekhmet Scepter?
Kind of along the similar lines. This is kind of for a different group of people. This is for our
slightly
physical
different.
characters. Redo is for our magical characters.
2400.
So Seconds is getting a cost decrease. It was just a little prohibitively expensive. And we also wanted to decrease the buff duration from 6 seconds to 5 seconds, which will theoretically, make it a little bit more of this concise place to, use it with. But we're also increasing the cooldown benefit from 0.5 seconds to 1 second. And so when we released this item, we were a little bit concerned that it could be crazy, right? I mean, there's a lot of cooldown potential.
Yes.
But the problem is with items like this is that when the increments are so small, it is really hard to notice. It is really hard to see exactly what it is doing, right? So we want to kind of give a little, take a little, right? But we want to do a little bit more give than we are
Both
take.
of those
so
items
again,
could be worth testing.
But now you'll be able
worth
to notice
testing with those
that
changes.
cooldown going down a little
that
bit
1
more,
second,
and you'll be actually understanding. Oh my God, my segment scepter.
It's hard.
Is actually popping
They're
off
weird
now.
items,
Those
so it's
really
hard to
fun
tell.
Moments.
It's hard to
and
tell,
you'll be able to notice
like,
them a little bit easier because again, increments bigger.
how
Yeah,
much
cool,
changes
that
like
makes
this
sense.
like,
I'm all
would
about
have,
it.
you know.
So
It's
next
not
up,
as simple
we're delving into
plus
the
20
physical
power.
ability damage item part of the woods. And there's a couple here. We have a Brawler's Beatstick, Heartseeker, and the Crusher. So at the top, Brawler's Beatstick.
Yep, nice and easy one here. Just a little bit too expensive for Brawler's
Cool.
Beatstick, 2,500 to 2,400. Just
You have to go out of your way to build it,
itemize into that
too.
anti-heal. If we're going to be buffing things like
Good.
Rejuvenating
Yep.
Heart and Sekhmet Scepter, we are understanding that heavy healer metas are potentially
but not
very frustrating to play
2400.
against. We wanna make
G,
sure that
just
playing sure that they
2400.
have good
That's an important
appealing options
distinction.
in order to
Keep
counteract
that in mind.
Making brawlers a little bit more accessible is an easy way to do it.
Got it. Well, dive into Heartseeker for me. So the threshold has changed?
Yes, so this again is kind of another one of those threshold changes that we were seeing with like the Lonos Mask stuff that we talked earlier.
That's a
where
good buff for
it's just a little
Heartseeker.
bit difficult to
Good
hit
buff.
the 300 power threshold without like you being literal last item end game power pot red buff type of deal.
Yep.
So I wanted to make sure that that upper threshold that's really affecting the kind of tank side of things a little bit more is going to be affected even heavier a little bit earlier. So again, really good item. It's just going to be a lot easier to actually get to that point. It's more realistic at this point that you can get this like 5th item and not really need to have completely full, totally done
hyper-power
build to get to that point.
Yep.
Cool. And then last but not least here, we have the Crusher, also getting a bit of a buff, some decreased cost and maybe a little attack speed.
Yeah, Crusher, one of those items
Pretty
that
big.
has historically been both an assassin item and a hunter item at times.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Seen it do
Gone
both.
through a little bit of a shift where it was flat pen, now percent pen.
Crusher becomes a
and we just
very
felt
strong
like
item
it
very
is
quickly.
One of those items that is close to be, some characters, some players will really love. They build a Crusher almost every game.
Yeah.
Some players, nah, not quite worth it for them. And it used to be this item that felt just good to build on because of that attack speed.
Yeah.
We are wary of what this can do to hunter builds, though.
Fair
But
enough.
with their lack of good percent pen options, really outside of dominance, of course, Executioner works well for them, but that requires them to hit a bunch of autos.
Of course.
Maybe
I don't
some
mind it.
hunters
I don't
like
mind it.
Chiron and Uller are going to feel a little bit better building something like Crusher now.
Don't
that has
mind
just
it.
a little
It's
bit more
kind of an
attack speed.
indirect
Yeah, I mean, sounds good though.
Marty
I love-
buff,
I love attack
though, which
speed
makes
because,
me-
that means when I miss every other attack, I'm
any
shooting the next
form
one
of
out
Marty
faster,
buff,
so
is
works perfectly
is
for me.
spooky
Last but not least,
for
in the
sure.
item area, we have some mage items. So this one actually has a handful: Bancroft's Talon, Book of Thoth, Evolved Book of Thoth, and the Rod plus its glyph. So I mean, let's dive in. What's Bancroft's Talon doing?
Yeah, these are some really exciting changes because they also affect some of our glyphs as
Okay.
well. So Bancroft's
10
Talent
power.
and his glyphs are getting an increased magical power from 70 to 80. So it's
All right.
10 extra power. This, the most important thing about these changes that you'll see is they kind of cover 2 or 3 different like build paths, right? You're not really going to be building Bancrofts in your book builds, so we want to kind of make sure that we're kind of catching every kind of mage and a little bit of lifesteal, a little bit of mana building, and just kind of your Round to Hootie characters that like to get that towards the end game. You're kind of spreading out that love between the beginning of the game with your book and your Talon, and your late game with Round to Hootie.
Cool, kind of sweeping the whole array of mage players. So it's good because that way I can pick up any mage I want and be like, hey, look at that little buff action. So moving into that, you mentioned the book build, both Book of Thoth and its evolution getting a little bump as well.
Yep, base Book of Thoth going from 60 to 70 power, and then Evolved Book of Thoth, of course, also going to reflect that, but also getting a little bit of a passive buff where the mana conversion is going from 6%.
Okay, that's more
7%.
impactful.
Again, 1 percentage point here actually does make a pretty big difference for Book.
Yeah, it does.
And like Lermy said, not a lot of characters are building Book of Thoth and Bancroft's Talon or any of its glyphs. That's a little hint. If you are one who's building both of those, might want to look for something a little bit more efficient for you there.
Dang, now you're getting build advice here.
Yeah, a little
tip,
tip.
huh?
Yep.
All right, so to end,
maybe
the items,
Book
the Rod
is
of
good
Tahuti
enough
Ancestors,
on,
also
like,
getting a magic power bomb.
Baba
Same
and
kind of idea, just at
Kakul.
the end of the game, just kind of round out a lot of people's
You
builds.
know,
Yeah,
like maybe
just a
those
little
Buff
two.
mages.
cap on the end of your build.
Cool. A nice little, it's the sprinkles on top.
Yep.
And then
So
it's a
awesome.
little
Well, that does it for items.
Ratatouille
We're in the
power.
God world now. Starting with the buffs and starting in the A category, we have Ares. Looks like Shackles and Bolster Defense both getting a little bit of love.
Yeah, I mean, Ares, what is his identity?
Wow.
He does a lot of damage for a Guardian if you
Yeah.
can hit your skill shots, and he cripples. Like, that's the...
He does.
that's the big
Buffing
thing. Of course, the
Ares
big
is the
ultimate as well.
first
So we wanna lean into that
crazy
identity
decision
of
they've made.
What is he? Why are you
Ares-
picking Ares? It's to cripple
Ares
characters more
not-
consistently. Shackles being on a little bit
4
of a
or
lower
5
cooldown
days
help a lot with
ago
that.
was in
and
the
Ares
top
is a character that doesn't
10
typically build a whole
win
lot of cooldown reduction at a
He
high level.
just got
so
kicked out of the
giving
top
him a little
10
bit more
win rates.
significant of a cooldown buff there with 2 seconds. And Bolster Defense is a very strong ability, but like Lermy was saying, with the smaller amount of cooldown reductions on the Sekhmet's
Wow.
passive, something like crowd control reduction isn't
This is
always
the
super visible
first
to the
change
player.
that doesn't
Always.
make any sense
but
to me.
we promise 30% CCR
That's a lot of
to you and
CCR.
your whenever. It's a big area too, and
He has
it
been
lasts
winning
for a really long time.
lot.
This
high-level
will make a
ranked.
big difference if you can just remember to press 2 before you or your teammates get CC'd. That's all you got to do.
It's like you were saying with Book a second ago. Like 1% can be a big percentile depending on what you're talking about.
Yep.
So 30% is
lot.
a lot. So super cool. And also, this is totally unrelated. I wonder if there's a way to figure out. I bet Ares is one of the best training tools for, like, I should remember to use beads and get beads more often.
I remember
you
when,
say that.
yeah, I remember
Fair.
when I learned that you could beads Ares ultimate. Because before that, I was like, this character is so OP. What do I possibly do? And then I discovered what purification beads were, and it got a
See?
lot easier.
It's a teaching tool.
Yep.
Ares is one where I see him and I'm like, all right, if I don't have beads, do I have an ability that gets immunity? Because burning ult is worth not getting destroyed. So.
Yep.
Trial by fire, you might say.
Trial by fire. So next up, Artio. Still in the A's, still talking
Now,
Guardians
Artio
here,
needs a
but
buff.
I got a handful of
Bad.
things. Decompose, Energy Surge, and
She's
Ball
one of the
Prey,
worst
all,
characters, actually.
All
She's
getting
not
the love
good.
of the buff ray. So
So Artio's been a little bit out of the meta. She's been a little bit
true.
absent nowadays, and we kind of are going back to our little stat squish
Yep.
mechanism here with Decompose, where 6 stacks, again, is a lot of stacks. It's a lot
Yeah.
of abilities you got to be hitting.
That's
A lot
true.
of ticks of abilities you've got to be hitting to get that full protection debuff happening.
Yeah.
So we are just taking the stacks down to 4.
I don't
And
mind.
then we are
I don't mind
increasing
that
the amount
version
per
of
stack
buffing.
from 2 to 3, so it's about the same spot.
It's almost
just
like a
little bit
quality
easier
of
to get
life
there.
buff,
So
if
it's
you
not-
will.
The top end, not going up. Bottom end is going up.
got it.
So that's going to be nice. With Energy Surge and Maul of Prey, we're just giving her a little bit of damage because, she is a stand switcher, right? So her clear
Okay.
is
That
theoretically
will have a
pretty
bigger
good, right? She gets to use
impact
4 abilities
because
on
it
the
helps her
lane,
clear and
But her
stuff.
clear is not great, let me tell you. So we are just bringing it up a little bit, just a smidge. 5 at all ranks is, not too super scary for Maul Prey, which is, once per swipe, and then
Yeah.
10, of course, on Energy Surge, just giving her a little bit extra clear help to be able to stand up to those lane bullies.
Got it. Super cool. Having
don't
come
imagine
from an
that's
area where
gonna have
Artio
a
was like running me
significant
down all the
impact.
time. Like,
You know.
I want to see her come back because I like playing her, but
It's very fun.
scary bear.
Yep.
Don't think
all right,
that's
so
gonna.
next up we have a Wheelix,
gonna
Moonlight
do too
Charge,
much
Gravity
for
Surge,
Artio.
both getting some love, a little assassin love here.
Yeah, this is a shout out to Chris Lee, the lead effects artist. here.
That's true. Shout out to Chris.
Our little Willix one trick.
Wow.
Increasing the scaling on
And
the
a
3.
Wheelix
obviously
buff.
hits very hard in the early game, just giving her a little bit more help to
Ha.
stay threatening throughout the later stages of the game.
Got it.
And Gravity Surge is
That's
in a
a
spot
weird
where
choice.
It actually is very threatening stat-wise.
It's a
in the
weird
later
choice
stages of the
to
game.
buff for
Yeah.
sure.
It's so much power and so much attack speed
And immunities.
and immunity. Yeah, knock-up immunity, all that kind of good stuff.
a lot of stuff.
It's a really good ability. But in the early game, it doesn't feel. It really feels like I have to pull someone with it.
Yeah.
By the time you get it to
Some
rank 5 at level
interesting
20,
buff
you feel like you
choices
can
going
use it
on
just for its stats and for its
for the
knock-up immunity,
gods.
and feel like you're getting this big power boost. And we want to bring a little bit of that feeling to the early game. So just upping the floor of that attack speed that you gain. It was 30 scaling up to 70. Now it's 50 scaling up to 70. So still ending in the same
Ares
spot
and
for
the
Gravity
Wheelix
Surge,
buffs
but
definitely
just making that
hot-
early game,
hot choice.
empowered moment feel a little bit more impactful.
And that's kind of her identity, right? If she's
Yep.
that early game, kind of, she'll run you down.
Yeah.
If you have a leap, you better have beads. But we want to give her a little bit of that identity back and give her, especially the players that are using that ability.
Not a
very frequently,
crazy.
it's low.
It's not a
True.
crazy
Low.
buff. It's
a
just
little bit
you
more
know.
of a reward for slamming the button.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
okay.
sounds good. That's one of those characters that I always love.
Wow!
You know, if your team builds around you, you're always pulling people. You can always get that pick.
So fun.
Yeah, then the enemy team has jumps, and you're like, no,
Never
you
mind,
don't.
it got crazier.
You get that one game where your team forgot to build knockups. The enemy team doesn't have any jumps, and you're just like, well, I get my stats though.
Right.
But now you can poke better.
Yeah, now the stats are even better. So that like there was a sad tone, it's not there anymore. Next up, Shock, one of my favorite OGs, getting some
That
love
was
as well.
a-
Torrent and Rain Dance both getting.
Not a smart
Chuck
change.
has seen quite a number of buffs
Thank you,
over
Fred.
the past few months, I want to
Anonymous
Still,
bought income
he's not
pack from.
performing very well.
Thank you, Fred,
which
for
is
getting our
just
exclusive income pack from the
unfortunate for
Nexus
little
store.
Chuck, but we're going to give him some
It's
more
down in
love.
the description
So
if you're watching
Torrent
on
is getting
YouTube.
another one of those
Shock
stats
getting a
because
buff
he's
is
going to be
totally
getting less
fine.
stacks of them,
Shock
but
getting a
again,
buff is
increasing
fine.
protection, so you'll just be able to get to that max prots a little bit easier. It'll be a little bit tankier for him,
That's
so even though
fine.
he doesn't really have an escape, he's got a little bit more help now because he's going to have access to that tankiness just a little bit easier.
Yep.
And then on top of that, a little bit of extra sustain. 1 second doesn't feel like a lot, but believe me, when that starts stacking up throughout the game, those 15 seconds roll by, and you're going to be like, I feel rather healthy for this point in the game.
Yeah.
And hopefully that feels very good for y'all. But that is Chalk.
That is Chalk. Well, all good stuff for Chalk.
That's fine.
Moving on to another buff
Chalk,
boy,
not a god that's
Gilgamesh,
picked.
too,
Give
our
him a little
boy.
bit of buff.
Sunforce
Perfect.
Scimitar, Heroes
Perfect.
Advance. Both, again, seeing a little love in the buff section here.
Yeah, Gilgamesh we know is one that we always have to be a little bit careful about because we've
Gilgamesh
seen
can
how quickly
do
he
that
can
thing.
dominate a meta.
That's fine.
But we still feel like he
Yoga can
isn't
get a buff.
quite bringing enough impact whenever he is picked.
Yep.
So Sunforged Scimitar is giving him another 0.5% of his max health per hit. And remember that he just lost a lot of max HP because of the tier 3 item changes, losing a lot of max HP, so shouldn't be nearly as scary as it once was. And then same thing with Heroes Advance. Warriors in particular, they rely so much on their base damage. 10 base damage doesn't feel like a lot on paper, but ends up usually being fairly impactful.
Yeah, when
Okay.
you're getting hit
That's
with
fine.
it in lane, the impact is there.
Yep.
When you think
Yoga,
about the amount of
another
times he
character
uses
that's
ability per game,
not
it
super
does that.
played.
Yep.
It does. It very much does. Next up, a story of a man and a horse.
Those
we
are
have
fine buffs.
Lancelot, definitely one of my favorite assassins. I love the horse mechanics. Mount Up. Speaking of the horse,
Lance
and
is
Crashing Dive,
probably
both
gonna
getting
get
little, I don't know,
buffed.
horsier. I was trying to think of a
Yeah,
horse
which
joke,
is
but
kind
better.
of
Haha.
weird.
Yeah, so Lancelot's mount
wasn't gonna
ability
get
is the one where he
nerfed.
hops on the horse, gets
Yeah.
a shield. We have found, though, that it's been very easy to knock poor Lance off his horse. Don't like that. So I want to give him a little bit more ability to get on that horse and feel like you can keep it instead of getting knocked off right away and
Yeah.
lose it. So we're decreasing the time it takes to get to that max shield. We're not changing the value of the shield. We're just changing the time it takes to get there from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. So just 1 extra second that you'll be able to get up on the horse, have that shield.
I
and
actually
be ready to
feel
fight,
like
right?
it'll spool up.
Lancelot
You kind of want
is
to wait a little bit in
balanced.
terms of going in. You want to wait till that shield's ready to go, and then hop on. And
I actually
speaking of
kinda feel
hopping
like he
in, or
is
crashing in,
balanced.
shall I say?
Shall you say?
We wanted to give him a little bit more kill potential back
Yeah.
because that's another thing that we have felt that Lance has been struggling at a little bit.
Fair
is that picking between Crashing Dive and the Gallop ability is a little bit difficult sometimes. So you want to make sure that Crashing Dive does have like its place in terms of when you are full committing to someone. This is the one that you want to go for. It does more damage. The other one's better for poke. So giving that a little bit extra scaling damage is going to make sure that he has to build into power
Crashing
to
Dive
actually
is
get
already
this
so
extra
strong,
bit of scaling
too.
to really
course.
feel like a lot.
Yeah.
But it is going to be very helpful in those full commit engagements.
Awesome. Sounds good. Looks like you got him. He already had horse riding lessons. Now you got him horse not falling off lessons and horse.
I'm
when
a
to
little
jump
bit
off
nervous about
lessons.
those,
So,
but
a lot
not
of good stuff
like
from my boy.
straight
Really,
up
really treating
against
him.
it. Like
So next up,
Wilix and Ares
Medusa, the
buffs.
scary snake lady. Acid spray and petrify. I love petrify.
She needs a buff.
Both getting
Perfect.
a little
To
low
her
as well.
clear.
Yeah,
Perfect.
acid spray,
That's
just
exactly
trying
what
to
she
let her
needs.
keep up
Her
with
clear is terrible.
wave clear
Perfect.
of some of the more popular
of course.
hunters right now. Acid spray just getting a little bit of base damage and a tiny bit of scaling.
Her PvP is great,
and
but
then
her clear
Petrify
is
a little
terrible.
bit, a little bit more exciting, I think,
Cool.
where we're increasing the damage taken by enemies not looking at Medusa by a little bit more. So
Yeah.
previously you would take
Practically
75%
full
of the
damage,
damage
actually.
if you weren't looking at Medusa, and of course you would get slowed instead of stunned.
Yeah.
Now you will take 85% of the damage instead.
Those are significant
still
buffs
be
to
slowed
Medusa.
instead of
That will
stunned,
help
though,
her a
so
lot.
Still got to be looking at her in order to get stunned.
Significant.
Yeah.
That full damage, I think it's still going to feel a lot burstier for those that she can catch.
Plus,
looking
Medusa's
at
got
her.
a 6
Yeah.
stim. For a
this
Silver
ability
Branch
felt
bow
a little
meta, got a
underwhelming
6
whenever
dim.
players were able to quickly turn
Yeah,
away.
flick that camera.
Exactly. Now that won't feel quite as bad for the Medusa player.
Got it. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's such a pivotal ult because like if you land it and there's 4 statues, you're like, I've done good work here
that's
today.
okay.
Yep.
And if everybody's like, oh Medusa, we saw her spool and flick the camera.
That's
it's
a
like,
good
oh, come on, man,
targeted
let me have
change
this.
for Medusa.
That's such a mind game.
That's
altogether.
good.
It really is.
It really is.
All right, so next up, another bow and arrow carrier, Neith. Classic on the field.
Neith also
Spirit
sucks
arrow,
right
a little bit
now,
of cooldown,
so give her a
and
buff.
also some cooldown for Unravel.
Yeah, so Neith is another one of those ability
CDR,
hunters, and
okay.
we've been noticing kind of
Embrace
as
her
the season has
ability-ness,
progressed,
all right.
progressed that ability hunters are just not the hotness right now. They're kind of falling off a little bit. Up the horse, you might say. Ha ha ha. Anyway.
Lancelot. Anyway.
Spirit Arrow's cooldown and Unravel, both of Neith's main clear abilities, are going down in cooldown just a little bit to make sure that, when you're leveling them up, you're going to be feeling a lot better about getting that clear up a little bit more often,
Yeah.
having your tools there, because really for most hunters, their basic attacks are their tools, but
Right.
for characters like Neith, her abilities are really what's going to be doing the majority of her damage. So if she's going to be having them up more often, she'll have more damage potential, not really have to rely as much on those basics. She's got a little bit more healing as well with Unravel.
Yep.
That cooldown going down as well. So extra sustain, extra damage, extra clear. You're just loving
Okay.
it.
An extra good time.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds awesome. So we're down to 2 left in the buff category.
Ooh, this is a fun one.
Yeah,
New
this is
Wa
fine.
up
Nice,
next.
I get it.
Now, both changes to Fogs and the soldiers, both pretty pog. Please explain them.
Yeah, so Nuwa is a character that we know dominates a lot of those non-conquest modes.
I love Nuwa.
She does a lot of damage when she's allowed to get those items, but now is a lot less threatening with getting so much less magical power. through
Movement
tier 3 item
speed
change.
of
So
Fog.
I feel like this is the right time to give her a little bit of
Interesting.
love. Not in the damage department. So we wanted to stay away from
Interesting.
that, but also wanted to
True.
make sure that she was feeling a little bit better. So previously, Mysterious Fog would say the same movement speed throughout the game, no
All the
matter
time.
no matter what rank you were. Now it's going to get faster as the game goes
So
on.
exciting.
Edgy
you'll
dabs
be able to make
420
a little bit more
marijuana.
tricky plays, feel a little bit shiftier, because your fog is going to be moving a little bit faster, and it will be easier to actually connect
pretty
with that
good.
damage.
It's pretty
because
good. I like
it's
the
moving
X-axis
faster.
as
It's
well.
a faster
It's
projectile.
pretty
there.
good.
So cool.
And then this is a really big one. Clay Soldiers. It used to be that you would get 1 Clay Soldier at rank 1. Then ranks 2, 3, and 4, you would get 2. And then at rank 5, you would get 3.
Interesting.
Having 1 soldier was a really bad feeling for New WoW players. And many New WoW players may
2
not
at
have been
level
doing what,
1.
in my opinion, was the right thing to be doing, which is put a second point into Clay Soldiers early,
Yeah.
just to get that second,
second soldier
Just
up.
makes your
Yeah,
stun so
that's
much more
actually a pretty
consistent, it
big
tanks more,
buff.
does more damage, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
We're just the single soldier. We're not messing with that anymore.
No.
Now ranks 1 through 4, you will get those 2 soldiers, and then once you hit rank 5, as her identity is a big scaling character, she gets a big buff by getting that 5th point into her Clay Soldiers. But early game,
All right.
levels 1 through 8 is usually when you put that other
Interesting.
point in, or 7.
I do it level 4 personally.
Yeah, I don't even
I
think
can't
that's
be
wrong.
living with
With the 1 soldier.
Now you don't have to.
Yeah.
Just gonna have a buddy all the time.
Awesome. Hey, again,
That's a-
like
that's
you
a
just said, we've
significant
instituted the
new buff.
mandatory Clay Soldier buddy system. It's gonna
Yep.
make everything feel better. That's super cool because I do love playing Nuwa, especially when you get her in assault or something. It just feels good.
Yep.
So all right. So last but not least in the buff category, Yu Huang, Master of the Dao and Celestial Flight, both seeing a little bit of a pat on the back.
Yeah, so Yu Huang is a
Right.
hard character. I
True.
found out very quickly. So one of the hardest mechanics about Yu Huang is his Dao management. And so one of the ways that we decided that we'd like to make it a little bit easier is by taking the time down that it takes for you to just
Right.
get free stacks. It used to be
Yeah.
12 seconds on release. Now it's 6 seconds, which is very, very nice.
Much quicker.
A lot easier to work around, let me tell you. And then also, if you get that extra out of combat bonus, if you stand outside of combat for 3 seconds and you strike
Right.
first, you are now going to get 2 now instead of 1 now. So it's just going to be a lot easier
Stacks
flow for you
gained
to be getting
from
those
hitting an
extra enhanced
enemy god
abilities,
outside
and you'll
of
be seeing
combat.
them a lot more often without having to really worry about cultivating. all of it.
Yeah.
And then additionally on top of that, Celestial Flight just has
That is
a
gonna be
super long
tough.
cooldown. But again, it is an incredibly safe ability, right?
It
So we
is.
wanted to be a little bit careful with this, but still give him a little bit of love, a little bit of safety.
I
Taking
think
down from
it
just 20
means
to
like your
20 to
first
18.
hit out of
And that's
like
gonna just
when
help
you're not in
his safety,
combat.
his
But it is
repositioning,
funny.
his dragon knockup if you really want to use it for that. But
Yeah.
all of the above. Very
It's a
good.
funny
change.
way to
Got
word it.
I mean, sounds like good stuff. Yu Huang's always been really fun to play. That ult is so fun to land. So, yeah, always love to
Has
see
he
a positive
always
change
been
and a fun
really fun
character.
to play?
So next up, we're moving into. There's only one god in this section, and this is God Shifts. And this one actually kind of came from a Reddit thread that Clumsy talked about, for those of you who are familiar with the
Robin?
Clumsy. So if y'all want to get into this, it's Ravana, there's been a lot of talk about
Are they
Ravana over the
reverting
past
the
couple
shield
weeks.
buff
He's
for
been
the damage
a
nerfs?
hot topic. So we're here, we're making some changes, and I'm going to let the more knowledgeable people explain them.
Yeah, so Robin was a part of our most recent bonus balance, and there was some pretty strong feedback coming out of that the direction that we were trying to go wasn't exactly what our players wanted to see. I highly recommend. I think in the update notes there will be a link to Clumsy's response on Reddit, talking about how we came to our decision, what our reasonings were, and why we think we're okay to make a little bit of a shift happen there from what we implemented in that bonus balance. So
they're kind of reverting
the
it
Hell
all.
Shield from Chain of Blows, his passive is going back down to 7%. This was buffed up to 9 in the most recent full patch, and then nerfed down to 8. But we're going to fully revert it back to that 7% and give him back some of the damage on Prana Onslaught that we took away.
Long story short, he's still going to be a very good character, but he's going to be leaning towards jungler again compared to solo lanes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pushing him back towards the
and
jungle.
I mean, again, this just goes to show that we say this a lot on the show, and I love saying it because of how true it is. It's one of my favorite parts.
He's still going to be very good.
We
it's
hear
just
Titan
like
4 channel
trying
things.
to
We love listening
put
to
him
y'all.
into the jungle.
And there are some changes that we can't make happen right away. I mean, like, we're miracle workers. We're not super miracle workers. Like, it's just, I'm really proud of how much everybody from this team is always pointing out things that y'all are saying in the community. And this is, I think, a good example of it, is we made some changes, and there was a lot of people who said, hey, we don't really like those, and y'all shared them in these
he will
really
still be an
constructive
incredibly
ways,
strong
and Reddit
character.
And Twitter and everything. And
In
we
fact,
love seeing
he'll probably
that. We
still
love
be a
reading the
good solo
reasonings.
laner.
We love seeing what people think and being
But
able to
he'll probably just be a
implement
better
changes where we're
jungler
able
now
to
than
just make the
solo
game
laner.
feel better for everybody. So I will thank y'all all again for all that you do to help give us this feedback to make this the best experience it can be. And encourage y'all to check out the update notes, which are live now. If you're not following along, you can use those to see everything we're saying on screen. But to also check out that thread, because it's a big thread. It was really well written out by Clumsy.
Oh, yeah, he'll still be banned.
It's just some insight into how we
yeah.
think. So super cool. Thank y'all for sharing. And
just for
now
different
we're on to the
reason, I
nerfs
guess.
section. So let's check out some of these spicy nerfs. Starting with Charon. Damnation just getting booped a little bit.
Yeah, so Charon has been a very interesting release.
He has been.
I don't know that I've really seen people be as torn as, is he super underpowered or is he super overpowered?
Yeah.
But if we're looking at the stats, he is super overpowered.
Yeah. He's up
Which
there.
one of y'all
55% win rate
mother
in those
truckers
modes, and that's very,
has been
very high.
spewing
So
underpowered
people don't necessarily see the strength,
Karen
but the strength is
nonsense.
there, Right? So we only want to give him a
Who
little more
out there?
countdown. The point of frustration that we've really seen has been from the shield
Who are
component
you?
of Damnation. And so this is going to the health contribution
He is
aspect as well.
very
so
strong.
Charon himself is now going to be contributing less of his max health to the shield itself. So it'll just be a smaller shield overall, which I think is what the community has been asking for.
Yeah, that shield is so pivotal. So a nerf, but more of like it's timeout, but you get a juice box still, so don't worry about it. So cool. Next up, Izanami. Death draws an eye. Getting
That was a
some
very
decreased
tiny
power
nerf.
Stacks, it looks like, or penetration stacks. So.
Yeah, exactly. Free penetration, we know, always very, very strong. Izanami has a lot of inherent strength, just having the best clear in the game, especially for a hunter.
Yeah.
So just making sure that
Izanami is
killing those
interesting
tanks
because
quite
she
as
genuinely
freely,
can
as she gets
wreck
lower in
in
HP.
casual/ranked.
Just a little bit of a nerf for Izanami.
But
and we'll see
usually
how she ends up.
SPL
Got it.
doesn't
so next
love
up
her,
is one of the
usually.
fastest fellows on the battleground,
But
my man Mercury.
the clear is just
special
so
delivery,
strong.
getting a little bit of punishment here.
Yeah, this one hurts me.
Yeah, I feel that.
I've been grinding a lot of Merc out on stream, but
Mercury's
it's
a top
been-
5
it's been
jungler right
a
now,
very good
statistically, so this makes
time,
sense.
as I've seen. But also the data has shown that as well. So
Yeah.
he's still very, very top ban and ranked, and we see a lot of assassins up there. Where Mercury is definitely up there, and even though you might think crit's not super meta, it's still very, very good. Especially when
applications.
the enemy teams are building spectral armor. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But yes, this in particular is not really a change to that aspect of him. It's more his combo potential and his damage to enemies that he is spinning around with a special delivery and throwing out into another 1-2 basic attacks or Mage Look or any of that other stuff.
Yeah.
So this is more so to stop the full combo, I just got spun into 2 crits in my face and now I'm dead aspect of Mercury, and not so much that other, like, if you just want to position really well and find people to smack a little bit, or
No
if
more
you are playing with your
soul
teammates who
surges.
CC.
Woo,
This is more
exactly.
so you as a solo agent not being able to go as crazy.
Got it. I mean, that's fair. It does.
Izzy is, in fact, very feast or famine. There's just more feasting and casuals
and I just get wombo combo.
in ranked.
I'm like, no, please, Mercury.
More famine in SPL. Which is not to say, you know, you don't vice
also
versa
getting a little
that,
nerf. Looks like undefeated body, maybe a little more defeated than it was.
Yeah, like I said, the passive for Wukong all of a sudden went from no one's feeling it to, oh, wow, this is actually doing a lot.
Crazy.
Also, a lot of meta shifts, itemization changes that have kind of forced Wukong towards the top of the solo lane meta. But
he's
just getting a little bit too many free stats from this passive.
Undoubtedly,
and I feel like this is a really good spot to tone down some of that damage. Wukong has always been known as a damage character.
Oftentimes gets banned as a solo,
but we want him to actually have to build some of that damage and not just get it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. So
except for that, like, one-time King Arthur was
one of the two being Susanoo with Wind Siphon and Typhoon. So it seems like maybe a little more of a sunny day, a little less wind out.
Yeah, this is a similar case to Mercury where we just want to kind of take that feeling of getting one-shot bursted, comboed, whatever it may be, and bring it back just a little bit. So between Wind Siphon and
getting
Typhoon,
nerfed is fine.
Both of those abilities do a lot of burst damage when comboed together, especially because you are in the air the whole time. You are not touching the ground. You can't react. You can't Aegis. So we want to make sure that that feeling is happening a little bit less often. And, you know, if you are getting juggled about,
Susanoo
is
the way I described him is he is the best jungler that doesn't get banned ever.
He's coming for me, bro.
That's basically
Susanoo. I'm
Susanoo.
still choked up about those Mercury changes.
There's a couple better junglers,
I do
but
like not
they get banned half the time.
So last but not least, Zhonghui, Demon Bag. Like, we just had to, he maybe didn't get that bag.
Well, he's getting the bag.
he does have the bag?
The bag's a little too good right now, basically, is the problem.
Take some.
I'm surprised Zhonghui is getting
after the tier 3 item shifts, just getting a little too many free stats from that passive, particularly when protections are getting
He
lower
doesn't even get
tier
played
3
at high-level
items.
ranked anymore.
So many protections. Felt like he was just getting a little too tanky too quickly in the game. So just decreasing the protections gained per stack down from 1.5 to 1.2. Still will feel like that in-your-face mage, battle mage type of identity. But will hopefully be a little bit more punishable.
He might be a little bit more
cool. Well, that
a little bit more like lower ranked
the
casuals,
the buffs,
stomper,
and one little shift. Big shift and a shift. So there is one other thing to talk about in the kind of balancy area, and that is non-conquest changes. And we have quite a handful of them here. Some changes across an array of different gods. And if there are any highlights y'all want to call out, feel free to.
No Marty nerfs.
For the most part, all of these are on the update notes, and you can go through and see what each of the non-conquest changes are.
He actually got indirectly buffed. He did.
There is one I think I want to call out just because the community has been asking for it for so long. Giannis is no longer getting increased damage to gods.
That's smart.
Heard your feedback.
Giannis is good right now.
The perception is certainly stronger than his statistical performance.
But he's very popular.
That has gone way up. And so if you're seeing him more, your frustration with him could rise more. All of that very understandable. We appreciate that feedback for sure. And we've just seen this suggestion so much that it was kind of a no-brainer to just to take away that bonus damage to gods.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, and again, another instance, I could not find the word, another instance of us looking for what y'all want and delivering it to you as best we can. So
let's just go through them really quick, right? Just so that we have that baseline there.
Do it. Fire it off.
Yep. So we've got the nerfs first off.
Yeah.
We've got Aphrodite, Ganesh, Kuzenbo, Nuwa, Odin, Sobek as nerfs. And then we've got some buffs as well, which is very exciting.
Yep.
We've got Chernabog, Daji, Hunbat, and the Morrigan getting non-conquest buffs.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, a good list, all on the update notes with the exactly what's happening to them, so you can go through and read through those. But so you'll be maybe
a lot of those characters I wish
jump in arena and tear it up.
Would have just gotten
if you do and you see me in those queues, be nice.
Not necessarily all of them.
So next up, and
quite a bit of
we've all been waiting for.
Oh, I'm excited.
We got. Speaking of arena, I've been playing arena for a long time. I was an arena main for the longest time. It's one of my favorite memories of being a community manager. I just started. I was brand new. I got that high res tag in game. I was playing some arena, and somebody's like, "Oh, you work for high res?" I was like, "I do. Yeah, what's up? I'm a community manager." And they're like, "Gross, a community manager's an arena main?" And it is one of my favorite.
Listen.
It killed me. Admittedly, like, I was laughing so hard at my desk. It kills me to this day, but I love arena. It is one of the coolest game modes I've ever played in any game, and it's getting some love here tonight. Let's start off with a bit of a video to see that.
Woo.
We're thumping in the arena now.
A great battle must lie ahead.
A new weapon for me.
If you like Arena so much, just play dual lane with Incon. Okay. Weird. Hell yeah. I do love the arena battles with like the build in the arena.
2, 1, fight.
Welcome to the arena. Ooh, I am so excited. There are so many cool things coming, and you
Team
just
of
saw
Marty Lips.
basically all of them shown off. We have those flying exploding boulders called pyroclasts, which I'm going to have so much fun saying. We have the fire giant there. We have the bonus round is back. We have the new arena style. So I've just been so hyped about this. Our team has done an incredible job making this feel so good. And again, as somebody who formerly could not leave the arena to save my life because it was my home, I'm just excited to see it. So we're going to talk about all of those things you just saw in depth.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to do it while we're in game. How about that?
Ooh, let's take a look.
Let's dive into the arena.
Hey, look at that art, though. Can we talk about that?
Wow.
That looks
I think our microphone got
I
turned
love
up a
all the
lot.
lava. So, and all those little like fire cracks in the ground too.
Yeah, it's really it just brings that like extra energy to the battleground, makes it feel that much more epic
Intense,
while you're in there.
Yeah.
Exactly, doing this epic battle between the gods.
I cannot get over the waterfalls, the lava falls that are framing the back of the portals. So let's dive into some of the new things here, starting with
Yeah, it looks like arena.
pyroclasts. What a great name! I want to shake the hand of whoever named those. So they're these awesome little projectiles that do a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm gonna let the devs tell you what that means.
Yeah, so as you just saw there, when you basic attack any of these little rocks you see on the ground, they will fire off in whatever direction you shot them in for a certain amount of duration. It doesn't go, incredibly far, but
Yeah.
it's got a nice amount of range to it. And then if it hits any god, it will explode and knock them up a slight amount.
That's awesome.
Kinda fun.
Basically, just added dodgeball.
Yeah, added some
Kinda fun.
dodgeball.
And if you can't dodge a pyroclast, then you can't dodge a ball. That's what we always say.
Got it. And it's super cool, and they come back every 30 seconds.
Yep.
So you really will get to, throughout the arena, you'll really get to play with these. And I mean, shoot, let's go back to a Wheelix,
The
right?
mini
That's a
map
little
is making me
knock-up.
hungry
there's-
for like
you know,
deviled eggs.
imagine you throw that into somebody, you hit that pole, like so much potential for fun there. I am so excited to play with these. And again, they're just a fun little cool mechanic. But speaking of, fiery things in this very hot-looking arena,
Maybe I'm just hungry for
the
deviled eggs.
fire giant is here. And
You're a
apparently,
devil egg. Thank you.
based off what I'm seeing right here on the screen,
He
spawns
looks like
right in the
accurate
middle of the
deviled
arena,
egg.
which is dead center. So
Yeah, he's the guy.
He's
the
the
center of attention. You can't put him anywhere else.
cake. Sorry,
That was good.
please
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, arena is all about those big, intense battles where the whole team is grouping up, and it's not about sitting in your fountain and hiding. That is not what arena is about.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Mike.
Please don't.
Listen, that's not what it's about, okay? It's about getting in there and getting your hands dirty.
Yeah, just fight me in the middle, please.
And where are the majority of epic fights happening on a conquest map but around the fire giant? That's where most of the 5-on-5 team fights happen in the conquest map, and we thought, why not just bring that level of excitement and that level of intensity to the arena match and add in that extra objective for everyone to fight over. So it fits so well with the theme of this map, of course, and
Looks beautiful.
it did not take long to adjust to fighting around this objective on the arena map. It's something that players are used to if they've played any amount of
And a
conquest.
bunch of pyroclasts.
And it's so exciting whenever he's about to spawn. Like, it's the best.
And the best part about it is that when he does spawn at 8 minutes, he spawns a bunch of extra pyroclasts. So no matter where you are around the fire giant, you'll be able to fire them at him, do some damage. You don't even need to be doing abilities. You just keep firing the pyroclasts. It gets a little chaotic, but it's chaotic in a great, fun way.
It does look very
awesome. I can
chaotic.
imagine. I'm like, all right, y'all go in and fight or whatever. I'm just gonna circle and fire rocks.
Thunderdome,
Like,
pretty
that
much.
sounds-
Then, hold on. Sorry to cut you off, but
please
look
go.
at this very different fire giant buff that you're seeing here.
Very shiny Apollo.
CC immunity.
It looks like it.
Oh yeah. So when you kill the fire giant, you
no.
get 20 seconds of regen and
Holy.
CC immunity.
That's so
Wild.
wild.
Yeah, I mean, we want it, fire giant buff in Conquest is
wild.
this game-ending objective that it helps you in combat, but also helps you push towers, and that obviously isn't the point of Arena.
Yeah.
So we wanted to really make sure that this reward for killing fire in Arena felt unique and powerful, but also not it for the rest of the match. We didn't want players
Basically,
teams who didn't get the fire
after you get
giant
the
to be like,
fire
well, what's
giant,
the
you
point of
chase
us
them.
playing for the
You
rest
run
of
them
the game?
right back
But we
to
also
their
didn't want it to
base.
be, we got
You just
fire
run
giant
them right
and
back to
I
their
got
base.
a little bit of power for 30 seconds. Like, we wanted it to be that
CC them,
crap, they
I
got
can't!
fire type of moment. And when you see 5 people who are CC immune for 20 seconds running at you, it is, oh crap, we have to.
It is the star buff
it is-
from
it's a
Mario.
really
It
fun,
is,
like,
yes.
Everyone scrams, everyone runs for the hills, and you just get to go absolutely crazy if you're the team that secures fire giant, which has been super fun.
Oh,
I was about to
absolutely.
say, I bet too. And like you said, if there are 5 people running at you, it's like, all right, we'll CC them and bail, but they're CC immune. Your options are run and hope that somebody on your team's a little slower so that maybe you can get out.
Yeah, they're not damage immune. They are CC immune.
Yeah.
Another important thing to talk about here is that killing the fire giant decreases the enemy's
That's a lot
tick
of
count by
Bendigo.
10, and the fire giant spawns every 8 minutes. So at 8 minutes and 60 minutes, if your game happens to go that long, you'll see him again, and you can battle towards the end of the match for it as well.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome, and I'm super excited about that. So what you're seeing now is a very one-sided arena match. Odin is getting absolutely destroyed.
Odin, right?
Yeah.
This is a bunch of sock fires on the chaos.
Oh, he's not here to defend himself. Don't say that.
I mean, that was
He's
the last
farming up a
Arena
lot of
playtest I
Pepsi
played
Ghosts.
was Shane's epic performance. to say the least.
Oh yeah.
Very epic.
So what we're working towards here is something that I am also super excited about, and it's right as the game ends, and we're 10 tickets away from it now, and that's the bonus round. So go ahead and start explaining it as we are about
I got
to
the
be in
escort
it.
10 for a little
it's
bit, and then
everyone's,
get
like,
bored and move on.
One of their favorite features that we've ever done for Arena. So
Yeah.
you get the bonus round, you get locked in the cage, a much closer range fight. You do get to buy some items in this time, panic buy them so that you can get all your strength that you need right beforehand. And then you get to fight in this more enclosed arena for what is really the true winner, in my opinion, is whoever
This
wins the
doesn't
bonus.
seem like a very fair fight, though.
Well, yeah, one's got Tower Killer on. Oh, no,
Yeah, it's
they
not
actually
fair.
lost it.
Apollo's way too strong.
So one thing to note is that you can touch the lava without getting quite insta-killed. It's it's not that instant, burst of damage or anything like that. It will hurt you pretty significantly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't insta-kill you like it used to.
Yeah.
Our spectator, of course, is on God mode, so you can't quite.
112 attack.
You saw the damage numbers, yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, 112 a tick, right? So that is
Oh.
something that'll be
Oh,
in
it is?
there.
Somebody hopped in?
Each end still good in this type of mode.
Oh,
but the
well.
fun part
LOL.
yeah,
I'm part-
exactly, is that there's a bunch
A
of
challenger
fire
has
blasts in the
arisen.
middle right there, so you get to play dodgeball to start off the bonus round. And if you can save some of these side ones, you can make some fun plays with knocking people in, all that kind of stuff. I'm just a bonus round stan. I want to play nothing but bonus rounds. I don't
He's
even
the
want
true
to
victor.
worry about
That really
Right?
is.
Even if you lose the game, you win the bonus round, you are the victor of the game. Come
I
on.
mean, it's a flex, yeah. And plus, Fire Giant's watching over, giving you that approval. Like, if you're the winner, it's just you and Fire Giant. Like, it's just, it's an epic moment.
Yep.
So this is super fun, and for somebody like me, who's a really big Guardian player too, like, I'm going to be playing Atlas and throwing people into the lava. I'm going to be playing Kuzimbo and saying, you know what, you're coming with me. We're going to go take a lava
That's
bath.
a lot of in-game
I am
effect.
so excited about this. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
No more Penta,
Honestly,
please.
this is a breath of fresh air into the arena that I know and love. I
Please,
think
no more
this, I mean,
Pentas.
I've played it once or twice. It elevates the feeling of it, in my opinion, and I'm just so hyped to get in there with all of y'all. And PTS, and in the launch of this season or this update, my words are all over the place. I'm arena excited. I'm sorry. Next Tuesday, which is like really close.
Yep.
So. Well, cool. So there is one last thing that we have to talk about in today's show that I am super pumped for. It's one of my favorite things to talk about and work on every time that we get to work with it, and that's Avatar: The Last Airbender. So the namesake of this update, something that I have always been incredibly fond of, and we are able to bring more of the Avatar crew into Smite. And let's start by showing you a little video to see what we got coming.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm Toph, the the blind bandit.
Sorry, Roku, I will literally never play you because you're the Jade Emperor. But I'll play Toph all the damn time. So.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to kick some butt and
Why
win
isn't
this
Toph
thing.
Scylla not Toph Terra? Because Toph Terra literally makes no sense. That's why.
Anonymous bot
That's
incon
right.
pack
Avatar,
from
Hey,
The
thank you,
Last
friend, for getting the
Airbender is
incon
back,
pack.
and we are
Let's
so
go.
excited about it because we are able to bring Toph and Avatar Roku into the game. So 2 more of the incredible characters from that universe in the Smite universe, which I'm so
Terra
hyped
looks
about.
nothing like
this
Toph.
is one of my favorite
Scylla
shows
is
of all
identical
time.
to
I mean,
Toph.
I know it ad nauseum. I repeat it all the time. The quotes, the characters, the story, the lore, the emotions, everything. And I am so hyped that we get to continue bringing these characters into the game because they're skins that I love, and it branches me into new gods. Because even if I don't play Scylla all that often, I'm going to now. Although I guess.
But there's so many
Scylla's
times
good.
in the
But
show
anyway,
where
so
Toph
let's explain the
heals her
event a little
allies.
bit. This is actually going to be an event. It's not just a chest skins, although there will be a chest. So in the Avatar event, all of the former crossover skins and content will be available through a chest. So you can make sure to pick up any of the ones you missed by rolling that chest, or direct purchasing for a lot of them. So the way this works is there are 3 skins that are coming out, those of which you just saw. We have Toph, Toph Scylla, Avatar Roku Yu Huang, and we have the Fire Nation Toph Scylla skin, which is really cool. I love that. And so the Fire Nation Toph is a reward skin for if you get other skins from the event. So if you're like, oh, I missed these Avatar skins the first time, roll the chest or get a couple of the event skins, and you will get the Fire Nation Toph Scylla skin as a reward skin. So super excited about all of it. It's a really cool event. Again, I just love getting to work with Avatar.
Hercules.
And, again, I couldn't be more excited. I could
Toph
talk myself in circles all day, fire quotes back and forth.
Makes
but
more sense.
Let's just get into looking at some stuff. Starting
Is
with
all I'm
Toph
saying.
Scylla. Let's look at that card art.
Hercules
Yeah, Toph is one of
as
those characters that
actor
when we did the
Toph
first round
would
of
be
Avatar: The Last Airbender
absolutely
skins, everyone was
hilarious.
like, oh, these are great. But where's Toph? Like, she was my favorite character. I heard that all the time.
And
Super
does
excited
work
to bring
well.
her here as Scylla. I think that she's going to fit that type, just the small but powerful archetype perfectly.
Yeah, and I agree. Scylla really does well with that because, I mean, Toph externally, she's a little girl, and I love that in the show where they're like, what are you going to do, little girl? And then she destroys them because she's Toph and she's incredible. So
To be fair, Herc
I
could
think
also
it's a
make
really
a great
cool choice, and the
boulder, to be
abilities
fair.
look really great too. I mean, it's just a cool scan and an honor to finally bring Toph in. And again, I could talk about this all day, but we're whittling down the crew, like the original Avatar crew.
Yep.
So
Slowly.
every chance we get, every time we have the opportunity to add more characters in, it's an absolute honor. And so we're gonna keep looking forward. But today I am just pins and needles, so excited for this and ready to go in game and see Toph in action.
Let's go. I haven't been able to see any of these in-game things, so I'm super excited to see it.
Even the idle animations are unique as well.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so cool. Oh.
That looks awesome.
That does look awesome.
Broken ground, of course,
Nice.
Even the pattern in the ground as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Then all the rocks and just her mastery of earthbending. I don't know why my brain just shorted out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boulders.
Oh, she's
So
up on the
cool.
rock. That is awesome. That is
Giant
so
rock
cool.
slam.
That's so cool. Oh, yep.
Like she did so many times in the show, just bopping underground and traveling through.
Yep. Perfect. I mean,
Dude,
it's
actually perfect character.
Yeah, when you don't see with your eyes, like underground is just above ground, but a little, I don't know, earthier, deeper.
a little more homey for her.
I am
I love
Melon
how heavy
Lord.
all of these abilities feel too. It's absolutely. Again, I'm just such a big fan of this. I love our team is so passionate about this stuff. That's so awesome. The amount of there's questions asked. There's how can we make this better? Like what? Let's dig deep and make this as true to the character as we possibly can, both in the visuals
so
and
dark
the way
down
that the
here. I
abilities
can't
come
see
across
anything.
and the behaviors.
Very good. Very good. Very
Was
good.
that just me or was that the Melon Lord laugh?
Ooh, it might have been.
That looked like the I am Melon Lord. Actually, I feel like she actually says that. So those are things you'll have to explore. But super excited for this. I like, as we mentioned, Toph has been highly requested for a long time, and we're so excited to finally bring her into the game.
That will be my new main
next
Scylla
up,
skin for sure.
Super excited to talk about this one too. Avatar Roku Yu Huang.
Yes.
The boy.
Dude.
Yeah, the boy. And
It is so crazy, let me tell you, how well Yu Huang matches this.
It is
actually
perfect.
unbelievable. Yeah.
It's perfect. He's
It
got
is
fire
the
Lincoln
perfect
already.
pick
He's got the dragon
for the
already.
skin.
He's got the look.
It's just
he's
unfortunate
got
that I hate the
serious
Jade
nature,
Emperor so
but
much,
also,
but it is
like, doing his thing at the same
objectively the
time,
correct
like,
character.
It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Like, he's already
Everything
got
from
the
that, like, that
dragons.
calm
Like, the
stillness
lore
to those, like,
crossover,
bursts
it
of
wrote
action.
itself.
It fits Yu Huang perfectly. it would almost be like we were like, oh, you know what? We want to do the skin later. Here's a god that fits perfectly.
Seriously.
Like it almost seems like it was intentional. It was so well done.
Hey.
So that's just how much we're thinking around here. We got all this big brain stuff. And again, the effects of this one are all super incredible too. The team really goes all out for every single one of these because, again, we're all fans here, you know? It's not like we were like, oh, well, people think Avatar's popular. I guess we'll work with it. It's a bunch of super fans all geeking out over how we get to work on this stuff. So
I mean, to be fair,
I think it would
Avatar
be a
is
shame not to see this in the game,
wildly
too.
good.
That's not
And if
bad.
you've never seen it, you really ought to. It's one of the
It
shows
really
that
is.
chat bullied me into watching, and I'm glad they did because it was phenomenal.
It's just so perfect, man.
Sometimes, you know, it's like, oh, what's the art team going to come up with? Like, how are they going to make this fit, and how are they going to make it work? And it's always really fun to see how they make that happen.
That's so awesome.
It looks so cool.
This one's just a slam dunk across the board. Like,
is.
this is just the perfect execution. The dragon and the spirit version of the dragon for the ultimate, that is so sick.
Again, like you said, it's a bunch of people bringing their passion out and getting to pour it into something that is worth all the effort. There's no cut corners. There's no we did it this way because it was easier. Avatar is we pour our heart and soul into it every time because it's worth it, and we're all, again, just such big fans of this. So
Even the basics.
it really is. That is so cool. Oh man. Well, okay, I could just sit here and watch this for like the next hour or so. So I'm gonna close my jaw, wipe the drool off my chin, and we're gonna keep moving. We have one more skin that I mentioned earlier, and that is the Fire Nation Toph Scylla skin. So I think we have the card art for that one as well, which is super cool looking. It's because, you know, it's tough, but it's in the later arcs when she was wearing the Fire Nation when they were undercover in enemy territory. You can see there on her arm, you got the moon or the space bracelet or space rock. I guess armlet. I don't know what you actually call that.
Yeah, armlet.
Yeah.
Armlet. All right.
Close.
We'll go with that. But, you know, it's just, again, we've paid homage to another cool part of the show, and I'm super excited about it. So
It's
looks
just a
on-
sick getup.
Yep,
It is a
It looks
sick getup.
awesome for sure. And I think that having the, you know, different parts of the character from different points in time during the story is always something that players really
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Some players or some viewers really love that arc where they're in the Fire Nation undercover. So having the opportunity to play as Toph in that type of outfit, I think they'll really like.
Yeah, and I mean it was that way with a lot of the other Avatar skins and
Yeah.
the ones that will be available in this event. You have
She has
different
souls on her shoes.
characters throughout different
Ruined.
segments of their journey. So
Ruined.
you have
Soiled
you have
it.
the or Aang and
Soiled
then Aang in
it.
the Avatar state.
Soiled
Same
it.
with Korra. You also have Zuko and then like the blue demon or the
Yep.
blue spirit. So it's really cool to see these different points of a character's journey.
Scrap
So
the whole
either
thing.
way, that
Back to
event
the
and those two
drawing
new
board.
skins will be arriving next Tuesday. That's again, even like when this show was on Thursday, it was one day crazier. On Wednesday, that's still less than a week. You know, that's right around the corner. So I hope y'all are excited about this. Make sure to pour through those update notes and see all there is to see, take it all in, and as you hopefully soon from now dive into PTS, keep your eyes on Twitter. We'll let y'all know as soon as it's open. Let us know what you think. Let us know how it feels, and as y'all always do, provide us that valuable feedback that we're always looking for, because end of the day, this game is made for the fans, for the community, and for having fun. And we love that y'all share your opinions to help us keep it that way and make it even better as we move forward.
Of course.
So one last thing to say as we close up is for those fans of the Dev Insight show, make sure you check that out tomorrow. So usually I'd say right after the show, but it's not Thursday. So that's going to be tomorrow on Thursday. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be hanging out with Lermy again, right?
It's going to be a great time. Make sure you come with lots of questions because I will be there answering them.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about, what's going on in the meta, why did we choose certain balance changes, literally anything, they got the answers for you. They got it all up in here. I have like a goldfish cracker and some grass clippings in there. It's crazy. So anyway, thank y'all so much for joining us today.
So, pretty good patch. It was a, third patch of a season, which means, there's not like a new god and it's not the new season patch. So there's less like pizzazz, I suppose. than a regular patch, but that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like honing in. Lots of good small changes, which I think was to be expected. Slightly buffing auto attack warriors, slightly nerfing some characters, slightly buffing some characters. I would have liked to see slightly more like buffing of bad characters and nerfing of OP characters. Like I think the fact that Marty made it through without any nerfs is kind of a shame. And like there was a couple of changes that made you like turn your head sideways a little bit. Specifically, Wheelix getting a massive buff and Ares getting a massive buff, I think are going to be regrettable decisions for sure. Because both of them are doing quite well right now. But outside of those two specific changes, I would have liked to see a little bit more of the squishing in of, you know, the characters that are being played every game and the characters that never ever get played. But on the whole, decent patch. 7 to 8 out of 10 range. Right ideas for the most part. Maybe just a little bit more oomph. But I'd give it like a 7 to 8 out of 10. But thank you guys for coming out to the stream today.
Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.